We're together.
My goodness.
We figured it out. So we're a little handicapped, obviously, with Facebook. So what I was saying is I'm going to interview Josh Pratt today. He's the owner of JPF, which is where I have come to because it didn't work online.
The only way to get you here.
Yeah, it's been bad. I have a lot of excuses. They're written down at home, so
We all have a lot
I'll
of
call you
excuses,
later
so.
with those. Yeah, so this got me to the gym for the first time in probably a long time. We're not going to go there.
A while.
I am starting again soon, though. I'm going to be doing Josh's strength and conditioning classes. Promise.
We'll see.
And then I'll be on here live complaining about how much my muscles hurt. So, you know. Anyway, Josh is a personal trainer. He's the owner of JPF. And then there's a bunch of letters after your name. So can you tell us what those are and what they mean?
Well, I went to school at UConn for strength and conditioning, so I trained all the athletes up there. I worked in the human performance labs. I have my CSCS, which is a certified strength and conditioning specialist from the NSCA, which you need a bachelor's to have. I have my TSAC, which is a tactical strength and conditioning facilitator, so I can work with SWAT and military. I have my specialist in fitness nutrition. I have my CrossFit level 1, and I also have like my TRX and all that.
So I wrote all this down in the initial thing, and I was like, I have no idea what any of that means, but it sounds highly impressive. All I know is
letters. That's what it means.
Yeah, all I know is every time I talk to Josh, he has the right answer. So I know that I have a lot of people on here that have questions and are curious about the topic we're going to talk about today, which is calculating your macros. Is it BMI or art resting? Tell me what
we're going to go
letters.
over BMR. BMI is kind of what the old school standard of if you're healthy or not. And some doctors still use it, but bottom line is it's garbage.
So what's BMR?
BMR is your basal metabolic rate. That's the amount of calories that you need to intake to sustain basic life functions. So just pretty much getting up every day, sitting up in bed.
So what I've been doing the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
So you need it, and in order to get your metabolism functioning right, you have to take in those calories.
And how do you calculate BMR? How do you figure out because it's unique for every person, correct?
It is.
So how do I figure that out?
There's a bunch of different formulas online, and that's the kind of confusing part. Because a lot of the formulas they'll calculate your BMR, but then they'll throw in a bunch of, what do you weigh? What do you weigh now? What do you want your weight to be? How active are you? So we want to make sure that we calculate our just our BMR, and then we can go on how to do that. So BMR is best way, honestly. I wrote down a website to go to.
Okay, and we'll put that. I'll put that in the comments when we're done.
So it's bmrcalculator.org or .net, I believe. So we calculate your BMR based on your lean body mass.
Okay.
So your BMR is calculated on your lean body mass. It takes into account your gender, your age, your height, and your weight, but again, lean body mass.
Okay. So then when you have your BMR, that's where you get your percentage of macros from? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how do you figure out how much, just for those out there who are like, what's a macro? Which I was at. I didn't know what a macro was. So I don't feel stupid because I was there too. So macros are your carbs, your proteins, and your fats.
Yeah.
So
the big blocks.
Yeah, so how do you figure out what percentage of carbs, what percentage of fats, what percentage of protein should I be intaking?
Well, honestly, there's not a real way to necessarily figure that out, but there's good options, and usually a good a good set would be like 35% protein, 30% carb, 35% fat. You want to go lower in carbohydrate because carbohydrate is legit just energy source.
Okay.
Right? So unless you are active, unless you're in a physically demanding job or you just worked out, you're not going to be utilizing those carbohydrates to the extent that they're meant for. You're going to be more storing those carbohydrates.
Right. Okay.
Whereas fat takes a long time for the body to break down. It takes a lot of energy, so it doesn't want to use fat like super fast. It's not going to spike insulin and all that. So you taking more fat, nice slow burning energy source, and we're not necessarily going to store that fat in adipose tissue because we don't have an insulin spike that we're creating with the sugar, the carbs.
Okay. And so when, what was my other question? It just left my brain. Oh, so when people come to you, so you know that I'm on a nutrition plan, and I coach people on a nutrition plan because some of us, unlike you, are lazy, frankly.
Well,
I'm lazy. I don't like to meal prep. I don't like to think about it. I really love the fact that I think about one meal a day. And one of the things we talked about was how when you figure out my BMR and then you take in what I'm eating, my shakes, you subtract that out, and then I can figure out what my whole balanced meal is. So if someone comes to you for training and they are on a nutrition system, you can work with that.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
pull that out and extrapolate it and tell them what to
I
eat.
mean, a lot of people think that I'm completely against supplements or meal replacement shakes, and it's not. I always look at, and the same thing with, sometimes I get in trouble with my training wise when other fitness protocols.
I saw that.
I don't
Anyone else
mean
see
to, yeah,
I had popcorn.
I don't mean to call anybody out, but the thing is, when I look at either diet or I look at training, I look at performance optimization. So taking person A and where could they be if they put in 110% effort, where could someone be?
Right.
And people have an extreme potential that they don't realize that where they could be. So I always look at that and I scale it back.
Yep.
So if I think about like diet nutrition, I think about, okay, we're going to do this diet supplement plan, but mainly healthy diet, whole food eating, and then we scale back to what's needed. And again, like you said, a lot of people don't have the time to meal prep, don't have time to, eat 6 meals a day, and then we can scale from there. So if you can't do it, it's fine.
Yep. So you've looked at the protein that I use.
Yeah.
And told me that you think it's a clean option.
Yeah, at first, I was, because there's so much on the meal replacements, there's so many, not additives, bad additives, but ingredients that it gets a little overwhelming. But if you look at the nitty gritty in some of those, the lean proteins like the grass-fed whey protein, it's very, very clean, really clean.
Yeah.
And usually you can tell if it's super clean by the amount of ingredients there are in there.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, but if you look at it more of a meal replacement shake and all that, having those extra ingredients is okay because a lot of them are your micronutrients, the phytonutrients, everything else, and just additives that will help you perform better because you're not taking that in through a whole diet.
Right, for me, that's really the selling point for me was I don't know where to find all that stuff. I don't want to know where to find all that stuff. I also don't like to go to the grocery store. I mean, I don't like to come to the gym either. Will start doing that again, but I also I really don't like the grocery store. Do you like the grocery store?
I don't like it, but I go in it.
Michaela goes to the grocery store, doesn't she?
No, I go there.
You do it?
Almost every night because I like fresh food and I'll go there, but I'm in and out like 5 minutes. I know exactly where I'm going. Right around.
That's
done.
why I got a wife. So maybe if you marry her, she'll start going. My wife goes to the grocery store. I just make a list and then it appears on the counter. It's it's amazing situation.
We're usually both out of here at the same time, so we head out, price shopper, and just go, same thing,
Yep.
meat, veggies, a little bit of starch, and go there.
So for our fitness people on here, I have another question
Yeah.
for you. BCAAs.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot about take BCAAs after your workout, and then you told me BCAAs before. Can you tell me
yeah.
why you recommend that?
So the old school thought of when to take protein and when to take amino acids is take branched chain amino acids or protein post-workout. And everyone still does that. You finish your workout, you'd love to take a nice protein drink, and it tastes great, makes you feel great. But the problem is that you are actually you're enhancing the catabolic process of what they call muscle breakdown, muscle catabolism. So by taking in pre-workout protein or amino acids, we can actually blunt that muscle catabolism. And what that would result in over studies they found is that it results in a 200% increase in protein synthesis, which is muscle building rates, as opposed to taking it post. And the easy way to think about that is we take protein or amino acids pre-workout. We have building blocks of the muscle readily available, so as soon as muscle starts to break down, the body has that available to take it and start the rebuild process. If we wait till after we work out, now we've done our whole workout, we've been breaking down muscle tissue. We have to wait for ingestion, absorption time, delivery to the muscle cell, and then rebuild. Okay. So you have a longer, drawn out time. Branched chain amino acids are great because they actually enter the bloodstream in about 15 minutes or so. If you look at an isolate shake, you're 30 to 40 minutes. If you look at a straight whey protein shake, you're looking at 45 to 60 minutes.
Oh, really? It's longer.
Yeah, because the isolates is broken down a little bit more, so it's cleaved off a little better. And then you look at casein protein, which a lot of people like to take either as a meal replacement or snacks. Sometimes they like to take it a lot before they go to bed. So bodybuilders, fitness people really like to take it. Has a 4 to 6 hour release, so it coagulates in the stomach and slowly breaks down.
Well, that was a lot of information. Does everybody know what they're eating tomorrow now? So I just want to finish with this.
I guess I'm going to go over after the BMR, but.
Okay, well, tell us.
Well, so we talked about the BMR, and that's great. That tells us what we need to take in to sustain normal life functions. But then we have to figure out how active you are, right?
Okay.
So you have what they call an activity factor. So
That's a multiplier.
yes,
So you put it. Don't you put a 0 at the end of your? I had thought. So if you weigh 135, which I don't, but I would like to. So I'm gonna say that 135. Put a 0 at the end. 1350 times a multiplier. Is that correct?
it's not correct, but it's not wrong per se. That's kind of like a real easy way to calculate.
Okay.
What you want to do is find out your legit BMR, so using your lean body mass.
Okay.
All right. We don't want to use what we weigh now because we don't want to feed fat. Fat doesn't
Okay.
take any energy for us, so we don't want to take in excess energy for that.
Okay.
So we calculate BMR, lean body mass, and then we do activity factors, which if you're, say, you just sit up on your desk all day, it's like a 1.2. So you take your BMR times 1.2.
Okay.
20%.
So I'm a 1.2.
You're adding 20%. Yeah. And then if you're lightly active, it's like 1.3.
I mean, I go up the stairs once a day. Is that lightly active? No, that doesn't count, does it? Walking up the stairs.
No.
Good, okay. What if I do a squat in the middle of the staircase?
If you do a couple squats, it might work. You know. But
I gotta come back to the gym.
1.375, and then you go up higher. Moderately is
Yep.
1.55,
Okay.
1.75, and then 1.9.
What are you at?
Honestly, I'm probably like 1.55 right now. I'm not as active as I should be. Granted, I am active.
You
Everyone's
live
like,
at a gym.
I know, but I see the weights all day long, and I'm like, oh my god. So
That's important information. See, so if you're feeling like crap about yourself, please know that Josh Pratt has lazy days.
listen, it's okay. It's consistency is the key to everything.
Yes.
Really is. So as
Yeah.
long as I don't put in the work as much as I used to, which I really need. I'm going to be one of those guys. New year, new me. Okay.
That's gonna be you.
2000 Yeah.
You've heard me talk about this. and
I've
how-
got to hit it. I
Okay.
gotta go.
All right.
Finding my own plans, we're going. But anyway, those upper tiers, that 1.75, 1.9, you're not really going to use those. I mean, that's extremely active individuals.
Yeah.
You're talking people that work out 6 days a week, double sessions.
Right, yeah.
No, just crazy. Or a construction worker that works out 5 days.
Right,
That's
right,
when
right.
you're at those upper tiers. So you don't want to overfeed yourself. If you are super lean and you're very active, then you'll be, again, in those upper tiers. But
Okay.
you would add that in, and then what we do is we take that, the 35%, and so
Yep.
you multiply your total calorie intake by 0.35 for your protein, or whatever you want for your protein number.
Yep.
And that would give you your calories of protein divided by 4, because there's 4 grams per calorie.
Right.
4 calories per gram, that's right. And then same with carbs, and then same with fat. But fat's 9.
So I just want to point out here, if you're like, oh my God, what is he saying? This is why a trainer is important. This is the reason why, because that made my head hurt. And so this is why a coach is important. It's why, so Josh is my fitness coach when I want to not be able to walk up the stairs without looking like a baby giraffe. He's the guy I call. He also talks to me about nutrition, but I also have a nutrition coach group that I'm in that I get coached with that does this for me. So I just want to say that you don't have to figure this out yourself. There are programs out there and people out there who will help you do it and figure it out correctly. Because it is a bit complicated.
It is complicated.
It's
You just
not
wanna-
as simple as just, oh, well, you weigh 135, so you do this and then do that. It's just not, and everybody's not the same. My wife has a different calorie count than I do.
Yes, and that's what you want to realize. And anyone that takes, supplements and whatnot, and is on the supplement plan, nutrition plan, you want to realize that everyone requires a different amount of whole foods.
Right.
Or whatever kind of snacks you're going to use.
Right.
You can't just say, hey, I'm going to take these 2 snacks and have, a fork and knife meal for
Right.
dinner, because that meal may need to be a lot bigger, but you may need other stuff. For example, if I was just to do 2 shakes and then a small meal, I would be severely under eating.
Right.
Unless I had a 2,000 calorie meal,
Right.
which sometimes may too, but that's another
Love
story.
2,000 calorie meals.
But you want to take your total calories, you find out the protein, the carbs, the fat, and whatever you're taking for supplements, you subtract that off the top,
Yeah.
and then you build your meal off of that.
Right. So, you want to tell us just a little bit briefly about the strength and conditioning, the classes that you're doing, what they cost, because I need to know that answer anyway, so you might as well just tell me.
Okay.
And when they are, like how people get involved.
So, I don't want to go too in depth, but strength and conditioning it's varied training, and it's based on more of a sport or lifestyle specific training. So it's developed to give you guys functionality in many different aspects of life, not just a sport, but
So I can
your
move
job.
my washing machine if I want to.
Yeah, if you need to, everyone's squatting down, picking up a basket of laundry, we're putting stuff up over our head, we're squatting, picking stuff up. So everybody's doing that in some way. Now we just take those exercises and we trying to build someone's strength base, because the stronger someone is, it doesn't mean you're gonna get big and bulky or crazy strong, but the stronger you are, the more efficient you're gonna be at moving lighter things around, the less apt you're gonna be hurt. So we call strength and conditioning a form of like prehabilitation. So
I saw that. Yeah, that's a good word.
yeah, we would.
Is that a real word? Is that a Josh word?
It's a word in like the strength and conditioning community, because we want to strengthen the athlete or the individual so that you enhance your performance or your daily life tasks, and you reduce the rate of injury or severity. So if you do get injured, the recovery time is less than if you weren't doing anything.
All right, so tell me when they are.
We have two different options as far as Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do more strength-based lifting. So that's your big compound moves, like squatting, deadlifting, overhead pressing, bench press. And again, I don't want anyone to think that you need to lift a lot of weight.
No, I've done that. So if I can do it, honestly.
It's all based on what you can do, not what I think you should be doing. I mean, if I know that you're really slacking off, yeah, I'm going to say, come on, let's pick it up a little bit. But everyone has...
Get it.
Yeah, get it. Come on. Everybody has different capacities, so don't worry about that. And then we throw in some metabolic conditioning after that, which is like cardio training or circuit training.
Is that the bike thing? Do I have to get on the bike?
It's bike, it's rowing, it's body weight exercises, it's light strength training exercises.
If anybody wants an assault bike, I believe I can break in here before I start this. I'll give it to you.
You'll be fine. You'll be all right.
Assault bikes, they're so fun. They blow cool air into your face so that when you feel like you're going to vomit, it cools you off.
That was a fun day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a really good day. He explained to me scientifically why I was about to throw up, while I was about to throw up.
Anaerobic threshold,
Yeah.
lactate threshold.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah. So those are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have classes at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Those are run by our new trainer. He's an old athlete down at JPF. Call him Big Rich. He's a professional strongman. He trains over in Germany and Sweden. Super nice guy. You wouldn't think he's so nice, and he's like a big bear. Then we have 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 4:30 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. I run most of the classes. I do have some other trainers, Kamal, Adam Sweeney, John Marsh here sometimes. I can't talk. A lot of us are exercise science grads, so that helps. Tuesdays and Thursdays are more those Olympic lifting days, so the crazy stuff you see on TV, throwing weight up over your head, you're moving fast. So we have those blocked off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that if there's people that really don't ever want to learn that, like I don't want to learn a clean and jerk, I just don't care, you don't have to.
Okay, cool. And so what's it going to cost me?
If you do 3 classes a week, it's $80 a month, and that includes your gym membership.
Oh, because you think I'm going to come on another time, another day, and go in there? Yeah. Definitely doing that. Meet me here. Somebody has to come and meet me, and then I will come.
But it's a good value, It's not
good. It's like personal training. It really is like personal training with a few other people in the room. I mean, it's a much less expensive way to do personal training.
There's more there's going to be diet protocols that we give out as well. There's also going to be, we do cycles, so we do 7-week cycles, and then we test on week number 8. To see if there's any improvements in strength or conditioning wise, because it's easy to say, hey, listen, we put on 10 pounds in your squat. It's not easy to say, hey, we got your anaerobic threshold higher, or we've got your heart rate down, or anything like that. So we have other tests that we can do.
Cool. So let's just talk about the new year, right? Everybody's got new year, new goals, new me, blah, 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 blah. Josh has goals. We all have goals, right, coming into the new year. I just want to say that it is a great time to get started, but I would suggest to you that, and this is just my personal feeling about, there's a great group at 9 and 10 a.m., Deb says. Hi, Deb. People who are really ready to make the change when they're ready, not based on a date. They don't start on Monday, they don't start the first of the month, they don't start the first of the year, they start on a random Wednesday and they get going. So that's just my little piece of advice to you. That's kind of a mental thing. If you start at the first of the year and then you get to like January 15th and you have a cheat meal and you don't go to the gym for 2 days, we have this thing that happens in our brain where we're like, well, I screwed it up, so I'll start again next year. No, it's okay to start next week. We can all start next week. It doesn't need to be the first of the year. I will tell you that if anyone is interested in our nutrition plan, because of this reasoning, trying to encourage people to get started when they're ready, not just on a certain date, it's 10% off plus $30 off, which is your membership, until December 30th. So we can get you set up and get you started for the beginning of the year. You can come down to JPF and watch me I do complain a lot. So whatever class I join, I promise you there will be complaining and a big pineapple on the top of my head. It's not pretty, but I do it.
Yeah, you do
I
good.
do the stuff I'm supposed to do when I show up.
You think you complain a lot, but I have other people that complain more, so it's okay.
I go
Yeah,
home.
seriously.
That was my wife. I go home and complain. I mean, I complain when I go home. Sometimes I can't get upstairs to the shower on leg day. I mean, it's good. It feels so good. Like I know I need to get back here because it does feel good and I feel accomplished.
I can sense the drama queen sometimes when I see your videos like this.
Yeah, I'm like, bring me a straw. I can't lift my arm to drink my shake. I need a straw, Stacey. But yeah, so this is a great place. It's a great facility. I will say that when I first looked into JPF, I had this little concern about maybe it's just like for like meatheads. And he might look like a meathead, but he's not. I promise you.
Get out.
Yeah.
All right.
but it's not like that here. There are all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
I found there's people that are, at my level. There are people who are like power lifters. There's yoga. There's all sorts of great stuff going on
That's what
down
we
here.
tell
It's a
people
community.
here. I mean, we tell people that, or I tell everyone that comes here, it doesn't matter your goal in fitness. You could be a bodybuilder, a fitness athlete, you can be a CrossFitter, you could be a power lifter, strongman. It doesn't matter. We all know that if we break down those goals at the end of the day, it all comes down to we're here to become better than we are today and we were yesterday.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. It doesn't come down to where you want to go, and we all acknowledge that. So it's not, haha, look at the guy in the corner that can't do a sit-up. No, it's he's here trying to get better.
Right.
Right? That's all we care about is that you're trying to get better.
Yep. So I love it here. If anybody wants to come on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we don't have to throw the thing over our head and go to a regular gym with me, I would be totally cool to meet you. Thank you so much, Josh, for doing this. Sorry I had to come down and bust in on your gym.
That's all right.
But
I was looking at the phone like, oh my God, there's so many buttons on here.
He does know how to train people, but as far as Facebook and technology stuff,
It's not.
it's not his thing. You don't have to be smart to be smart. All right, thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.